Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to Fed Choice Facebook Live. My name is Courtney, and today I am here with David. Hey, David.
Hello, Courtney. How are you? And how's everybody out there in Facebook land? I hope all is good and loving this weather today after Ida came through the last day or so, which was kind of nasty, but we made it. We made it.
Yep. And hopefully everyone out there is doing all right and stayed safe. But like you said, we made it, and now we are enjoying some great weather. So today we are going to ask David some probing questions. Our members sent in some questions, and we also, our members sent in some questions that we are going to ask, that I'm going to ask you. And then also, if you have any questions for David, go ahead and drop them in the comment section, and we will get to as many questions as we can today, and we will just answer away. So are you ready to get started, David?
I am ready and excited.
Okay, let's go. So the first question we have is from a member named Jacqueline, and she asked, when will Fed Choice allow its members to add a comment when paying each bill through bill pay?
Great question. And the answer might surprise you, Jacqueline. Actually, you can add a memo when you pay your bills. You could either add it one time, or if it's a recurring payment, you can add it as a recurring memo or comment. And it also shows up in the payee details. So that convenience and availability exists today within our bill payer service. So thumbs up on that.
Yes, thanks, David.
Yeah.
So the next question we have is from a member named Kendrick. And Kendrick asked, why is the car loan process so difficult for members? Nice people, but the process is a bit outdated.
Well, I appreciate Kendrick's honest feedback, and we want to hear more about it. When we got the question, I asked our lending folks, hey, tell me the backstory. What happened here? And actually, after we got the purchase order, which sometimes can take a few days, we ran through it pretty quickly. At least we thought we did. But we appreciate the compliment there, the nice people. But the process clearly did not meet your expectations. So I want our folks to reach out to you to get more feedback as to what happened and honestly how it could be better. So stay tuned. We will reach out to you here shortly, if not already, to get more information and make sure that this process is not repeated and we learn from it and help the whole auto loan experience get better and better and better.
Thank you. Our next question is from a member named Betty. And Betty asks, why does it take over 2 months to process a refinance loan? And I believe she is speaking about a mortgage refinance.
Yeah, this was last year, and just being very transparent and honest, we were overwhelmed. We were slammed with member inquiries and member loan applications. Most of them were refinances because the rates were so low, and hint, they still are very, very, very low. But we were just overwhelmed like pretty much everybody was, but I can't speak for anybody else. We also had problems like title searches. They would take a long time to complete. Appraisals. The appraisers were all backed up doing appraisals. So there were a lot of things that were, quite frankly, outside of our direct control. But that's changed to a huge extent now. The volume is certainly more manageable. We're turning loans around really fast in the mortgage area. The process has improved and continues to improve. And it's definitely far, far better than it was this time last year when lending was going through the roof. Mortgage lending, both purchases, but really more refinances, just were going crazy. So I apologize, Betty, that we didn't meet your expectations then, but I hope you give us another try, because I guarantee you that experience when you need another loan will be far, far better than it was during that hectic period last year.
Absolutely. We had a question from a member in Robbins, and In said, what kind of help can your members get when seeking a refinance after a divorce?
Yeah, life events happen, and certainly divorces are one of those life events that can really wreak havoc to your financial planning. I appreciate you letting us know that you'd like some guidance and assistance from us, and we are already reaching out to you today to help answer your questions and see what we can do for you. So I really appreciate you throwing that question my way, and we will follow up with you today to see what we can do.
So next, David, we got two questions from two different members, one named Kamisha and Lawrence, and they both wanted to know, will there ever be a FedChoice business account?
Wow, that is such a great question. I really appreciate it. And it's interesting, we got it from two different members.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a credit union that has always focused on the federal community, we have always focused on the needs of that community, which is really not business oriented to a great extent. A lot of folks that are in federal service, obviously that is their primary job, and they don't really have any significant businesses on the side, although that has changed. As a lot of our members have retired early, or are just changing careers and they're looking to start their own businesses. We have started to realize that. So in our next strategic plan that we're going to be putting together next year, business services on the loan side and on the deposit side is definitely in our crosshairs to consider as one of our next strategic objectives here with the new plan. So stay tuned. I'm sure that will be significantly discussed next year, and you might hear some really good news on that front after we get through the strategic planning process. Good question.
Yes, thank you, Kamisha and Lawrence, for those questions. Our next question, David, is from a member named Bonnie. And Bonnie wrote, regarding an increase in fraud attempts, what kind of fraud, what is the credit union what is the credit union doing to handle the fraud and deal with the fraud that we had? Well, not that we had, but that is going on in the world.
Fraud is fraud, and it's always out there. And the key is to always try to stay a step ahead of it. We obviously want to make sure our members are aware of what's happening with their both credit and debit card, because debit card fraud is as prevalent as credit card fraud. So what do? We try to put as much information out front for you as members to make sure that you can control your cards. And what we just launched last week was an integrated, what's called CardNav. So within the FedChoice mobile app, you have the ability to control your card or cards if you have the debit and credit cards. And it's really simple. Once you enhance your FedChoice mobile app with CardNav, it automatically populates whatever cards you have with us. So you can turn the card on, you can turn the card off. If you have a card for, let's say, a loved one, and you want to control how much they can use the card, you can set up those type of controls. You can set up actually even within a locality of where that card can be used and where it cannot be used. Most importantly, it gives you the chance to also be notified anytime your card is used. And card can be not only the card itself that's been replicated, but even someone that has your card number. Every time there's an attempt made with your card, if you do it and you get a notification pop up on your mobile phone, well, that's great, because it's just a way to reaffirm, oh, that's me. But if you get a pop-up notification for one of your cards that's not you, that you're not aware of, bam, you know it immediately, and you can shut down the card. You can totally shut down the card and let us know, hey, I'm not familiar with this transaction. I want it suspended. Or if you think later, you know what? I do remember that this was, let's say, a pre-authorized transaction to auto pay a particular utility. Then you can turn the card back on and still use it. But the power of your ability to manage your card and fraud is all right now at your fingertips with the enhancement to the FedChoice mobile app. On another note here, just since we're talking about processing and managing fraud, if unfortunately you are caught up in a fraud event, we are in the process of improving that fraud claim process. We're working with our third-party strategic partner to really greatly enhance that process to to claim those transactions as fraud. So that's completely separate from the card nav tools that you now have within the FedChoice mobile app. Those type of process enhancements with the fraud itself is a separate project that will be, I hope, I expect will be launched within the next 60 to 90 days. We're working with our third-party partner to try and bring that up as soon as possible. And that will make that experience far better for our members if they are victims of fraud.
Yes. And knock on wood, that doesn't happen to any of our members, but we do want to have the processes in place to help you with it should something happen to your card.
Absolutely. You feel vulnerable. You know, when you've had fraud on your account, somebody that's gotten access to your card information, that's not a good feeling ever. So what we want to do is make the process of claiming it, identifying it as smooth as possible, get you that new card as soon as possible, which we've recently made huge improvements in getting those cards to you super fast. Yes, with that chip and that radio frequency or RF touch and go benefit as well on all new cards that are coming out. They also now have that what's called RF or radio frequency touch and go benefit. And you can instantly create your own customized PIN as well without having to wait for those old PIN mailers you used to get. Those are now a thing of the past.
Yes.
So we're doing a lot with our cards because we know how important it is to use your card and to know that it's secure.
Yep. It's the way most of us access our money these days is right on our card. So making sure that we have the best cards out there is top priority for us. Absolutely.
The members should feel confident that they can use their card securely and conveniently. Yeah, I agree. We all want to do that.
Well, thank you, Bonnie, for that question. And that led to a great conversation. So for those of you who haven't updated your mobile app and don't have the FedChoice mobile app yet, make sure that you go and update it if you already have it, or grab it and download it from the App Store if you don't have it yet. You just type FedChoice into the App Store and you'll definitely find our app. So thank you for that question, Bonnie.
You'll love the app, by the way. If you haven't used it yet, it's addictive.
What are you waiting on?
It's totally addictive, like a lot of things on our phones are. But it makes banking with us so convenient, from mobile deposits. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And there's so many more enhancements that we have lined up with our mobile app. I don't want to steal someone else's thunder another day in talking about all the good stuff that has yet to be launched, but there are so many things we have lined up to make mobile banking with FedChoice so convenient, so fast, that it'll make everybody's lives even better.
Yep, so stay tuned, everyone, and make sure you download that app if you don't already have it.
Yeah, for sure.
So our next question comes from Clyde. And Clyde says he lives in Manassas, Virginia, and wonders if FedChoice will ever have a presence in Virginia.
Clyde, that's a great question. I can answer that in two ways. First is, of course, we do have shared branches. I did quickly check to see where your home was and kind of see how many shared branches were nearby. And we actually have 2 shared branch locations within about 10 miles and 5 within 15 miles. So we do have not FedChoice named locations, but we do have, in partnership with other credit unions out there in Manassas, we can offer that convenience if you need to go into a branch, that you do have a variety of branches available to you that typically take care of most of your branch needs, as deposits, withdrawals, things of that nature. But what we really have done, and quite frankly has been a result of the pandemic, is we've really tried to focus on bringing our services to you, to all of our members, through remote means, through what I'll call digital first means or remote means. So the reasons to even walk into a branch become fewer and fewer and fewer. In fact, quite frankly, are not even necessary 9 out of 10 times. Such things as the mobile app, and all that we're doing with the mobile app it is front and center. And also the enhancements we're making on the e-banking side when you want to go online to touch your account. Obviously, your debit and credit cards, direct deposit, direct allotment, transferring between accounts at the credit union. All of that is really so easy to do Mobile deposits has been a big plus. A lot of our members that used to come to us to just simply make a deposit into their account with checks, they now are just using mobile deposit. And it's the same holds, if there are holds, that apply if you actually physically came to a branch. If you did it on your mobile phone, it's the same holds, which are modest, quite frankly. So we really are trying to move in this, I'll say, pivot direction, where a digital first, remote first services is our future. So the real need to have a branch physically nearby becomes, quite frankly, obsolete. What we're also doing, though, to supplement this change is we're really putting a lot of resources, people in our member care center. We call that our member care center. It's a call center where we also do handle chats, online emails, things of that nature through our e-banking app. This is the future, we think, for us because we really want to be convenient by phone. If it's physically using the app, or if you need to call us or chat or email us, we want to be available for you predominantly through that means. It's so much easier than having to physically drive to a branch location. So that's really where we're putting a lot of money and people. I can talk a bit more about that in a minute, but it's exciting to see, quite frankly, how all of us have pivoted the way we bank, the way we connect through this pandemic. This was not something we chose, but boy, did we all respond to it well. We've really helped a lot of our members that were so dependent on coming into a branch location for various reasons. We have given them those alternatives now. We've guided them in certain ways to make sure that where they never even had an ATM or debit card, they now have that card to get money from their account, so they can go to any one of 60,000 surcharge-free ATMs to get that money out of their account. Debit cards, of course, you can use that anywhere that accepts the Visa card. So there's so many ways that you can more conveniently do banking than having to come to a branch location. So that's really what we're doing on a strategic scale as we look at the future after the pandemic, is really becoming far less dependent upon branches. That's both in federal buildings and anywhere else. We really want to be more remote first, digital first in providing services to you conveniently and efficiently going forward.
Yeah. Thank you, David. That kind of brings us to our next question, which is from Gwendolyn, who says, why is the Philadelphia office closed?
Yes, we've gotten quite a number of our members asking about the status of our federal building branches. And we actually just sent an email out recently kind of explaining the why of what we're doing, why we're doing it as it relates to our federal building branches. Our Lanham branch is, of course, open normal hours now, including the drive-through. So that's been up and operational since actually last summer. But Philly is not open. And quite frankly, when I've been in the federal buildings, it's still somewhat a ghost town. There is a lot of folks that have not returned to the federal buildings. And from what we have heard, of course, it's hearsay because nothing has been formalized yet, is what we believe the government's going to be doing, and that includes IRS, ATF, all the federal agencies out there, is that they're going to be moving more towards a hybrid type of work environment where, unless your job really requires you to be in a federal building location, you're going to have more of a modified, I don't want to say AWS schedule, because I think it's going to be a lot more than that type of alternate work schedule. It's going to be where you might come into the office 1 or 2 days a week, maybe 3, but there's going to be more of an accommodation for our members to work from home and be even less dependent upon going into the federal building and, quite frankly, using our branches. So with that type of information and expected future, we're not sure that we're going to reopen all of our federal building branches, certainly not the way they were, because it doesn't make sense to reopen the branches as they were when the world has changed around us and the way we work has changed so much, and the way we bank and do business with you has changed so much as well. So I think with regards to Philly and, quite frankly, all of our federal building branches, we do not have any intentions at this point to open any of them through the rest of this year. What we do going forward into 2022 is still being discussed and reviewed as we look at what the federal agencies are doing, as well as what we would like to try to do to accommodate this digital first strategy, this remote first strategy. So if you use an ATM in those buildings, those ATMs are available for you. In fact, you might not know because you haven't probably, in some cases, haven't been to a federal building in a while. All of our branch ATMs, all of the ATMs in our federal locations have been changed. We have new ATMs at those locations. So when you do go in and you need an ATM, those will be new machines. Beyond that, we're going to revisit how are we going to remodel and offer our services to you in these federal building locations. Don't have any answers yet. We're working through that right now. In fact, we're looking at Lanham as being, in essence, a pilot type of design in what our branches could look like going forward. But it's going to be with the technology first focus because we really believe, and we know our members now are far more comfortable than ever before in using such things as debit and credit cards, online banking that's very secure, calling the member care center or emailing or chatting with us, and of course, using the mobile app. So all of these different types of strategies and investments that we're making in these technologies is really meant to reduce and eventually probably eliminate the need for having branches in our federal building locations. Does that mean we're leaving those locations? Absolutely not. Does it mean that what we do there, the services we provide will change? Absolutely. So stay tuned. As we decide and figure out what we're going to do in our federal buildings locations, everyone will know. We will let everybody know and keep everybody in the know. But I really, really appreciate that question, which is a very important question to talk about and to answer.
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Gwendolyn.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
For Clyde and Gwendolyn who asked about branches, I did also want to mention that if you want to find a shared branching location that's close to you, you can go online to fedchoice.org. You can look on the mobile app and you can just type in your zip code and it'll pull up the closest shared branching locations to you. You can even text 91989, just text your zip code to that number and it'll send you back a location of an ATM or a shared branch location that's close to you that you can use. The ATMs are always in somewhere really convenient, Walgreens, Target, all those types of places.
CVS, 7-Eleven.
Yep.
They're everywhere.
Places that you're probably going to anyway. You can just pop in and use the ATM if you need it. So yeah.
Without a surcharge.
Without a surcharge.
Surcharge free. That's big.
Yes. Yep. So thank you for those questions. We did get a couple of comments, not really any questions, but just wanted to say hello to everyone who commented. Latasha and Carolyn said hello. We got a comment from Pedro who says, love the service I receive from our membership. Yay!
Thank you, Pedro. Appreciate that.
We're glad that we love you as a member, and we are glad that you love us as well. And we got a comment from Carla that said mobile deposits are so easy.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's crazy easy nowadays. And I have never a reason to make a deposit going into a branch, really.
Yeah. There's so much that you can do just directly from your phone. Sometimes if you're like antisocial, you don't even want to talk to anybody. You're having one of those days, you can make your deposit, make your transfers, pay your bills. You don't even have to say hello to anyone.
No, I think it's great. And, I think, there's a bank out there that said, what's in your wallet? Well, Fed Choice is in your pocket, right? I mean, wherever your phone is, and if it's in your purse or pocket or back pocket, in your hand, in your car, wherever it's at, we're right there with you. Totally. Yep. So conveniently. So take advantage of it for sure. If you don't have the mobile app, download it and play with it, and you'll love it.
Absolutely.
If you have any problems with it, let us know, because we'll walk you through it and make sure that you're comfortable with the mobile app and, of course, the e-banking as well online. They both have the same experience, which is nice. So if you're in the e-banking or if you're on your phone, it's the same look and feel. And that was super important for us to make sure that you're comfortable if you're using your phone or your pad, your iPad, or your computer. Yeah.
Yep. So definitely download that app, everybody. So David, before we wrap up, I just wanted to know, were there any other updates or anything else that you wanted to share with our members?
Yes, there are. Thank you for asking. Well, I mentioned about our incredibly wonderful member care center, which is so many great people work there, and they're just phenomenal. And we get a lot of feedback to that extent every day. We're doing a lot to really help improve that because we know that's so critical for us in this remote first environment where we really want to be best in class. So you're not waiting a half hour, you're not waiting an hour or more to get one of us. If you do need to call, we're going to be creating, in essence, and we're working through this now. So we're building, in essence, some overflow support. So on those days that are super crazy busy, for whatever reason, we want to get some overflow support to help minimize your wait time and enhance that speed of service. So this new partnership that we're building with one of our partners is just now in the process of being built. So I don't have an exact date where that overflow will be in place, but we are working on that because we realize how absolutely important it is to offer that speed of service when you do contact us. Certainly we'll want to try and make as much of our services to you self-service so that there's not a need to really reach out to us unless you've got a problem, which, we all do occasionally. Then we want to be there for you pronto to make sure we take care of you. I mentioned earlier that we're creating a new process to handle plastic card disputes faster and fraud claims. So that's coming down the pike. And we are behind the scenes here, not that the members would know this, but we are realigning our resources to enhance other services that members might need, such as wire transfers, things of that nature. So that's all really under the umbrella of if you need to reach out to us. We're also going to, by the way, reassess our hours of service. As we become more remote first, digital first oriented, we can look at perhaps expanding our hours of operations in that environment. And that could be possibly additional hours in our member care center. So these are things that we're thinking, don't have anything solidly written down yet as far as what we're going to do, but we are open to evaluating that as well. Hey, who doesn't love or perhaps use either Siri or Alexa, right? I've gotten used to Alexa over here, and she can drive me crazy sometimes. And Siri sometimes doesn't understand me, but it's all called audio-based conversation, and it's all computer-based. Well, guess what? We're going to be launching a new phone teller service, right? That's going to be voice-enabled. So you can actually ask questions, and phone teller will respond orally to your questions. So the days of having to remember codes will be a thing of the past.
Yes.
So that's going to be huge. We're going to put that out there. So when you first call in to Fed Choice, we want that to be an immediate option, because if you really perhaps don't have access to e-banking or mobile banking, but you still want to call us to see if a check cleared or deposit was made or anything else, and you want to use phone teller, we want to put that front and center when you call us, but make it as user-friendly as possible. So that's the direction we're going in, and we're really excited about that. So that's neat. Zelle. There's a mobile app there called Zelle that we are planning to launch. We are starting that process, I believe, in October as far as the project. And I don't have a launch date yet, but we are working on providing Zelle to our members. What's the benefit? You can immediately transfer money between friends and family in and out of your Fed Choice accounts. It's way, way, way faster than these other apps that are out there like Cash App and Venmo. So Zelle is where we are placing our bets, that we're going to have members that are going to really love the speed and efficiency of Zelle over these other payment apps that are out there. We call P2P or person-to-person money transfers. I haven't used it that often, but recently I started using it with friends to help pay for dinners and stuff like that. And I think it's the way of the future. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
It's
anyway,
very convenient.
it is. It really is. So I'm sold on it, and I'm so excited that we'll be launching and offering Zelle to our members here in the near future. I mentioned CardNav and all of the great features that are available there. We've got a lot more coming on board with regards to the mobile experience with FedChoice, and that's going to be phenomenal, and stuff that's really kind of edgy out there that we want to offer our members as a means of convenient banking, even investing. We want that to be more of a mobile type of convenience and experience for our members to start investing in funds. But that's probably not coming until 2022. But these are kind of things we're thinking of that are really, really kind of creative and out there that we think our members will enjoy, or at least experiment with. And we want to make that option out there for you. Yeah. Talk about mortgages. Wow. We have done a lot to improve our mortgage programs and our services. We now offer jumbos. Yes. Jumbo loan. So we just closed our first jumbo loan this month. Well, I should say in August, because it started at the beginning of September.
Oh, yes, August.
Yeah. But we just closed our first jumbo loan. We have 100% financing loans. So in essence, if you're a first-time home buyer, you're looking to buy your first home, and you don't have normally the amount of money you need to put as a down payment, we can help you. And more importantly, we can help you avoid having to pay those very costly mortgage insurance premiums every month that are of no use to our members. That's just paying basically an insurance premium to make sure that the lender is covered if there's a default. So it's really a great program. I would encourage our members, especially members that are looking to buy their first home, to check out that 100% financing product that we have just launched this year. We've got Renify loans. If you haven't heard of Renify, check that out, because this is a new type of loan process that we are unique in the entire Washington area, offering in partnership with our friends at Renify, the ability to do these great improvements on your home when you don't yet have the equity in it. So we can work with you to, in essence, help fund and pay for those improvements. Let's say you want to do an addition to your house. You want to finish that basement. Heck, if you're real, fancy, maybe you want to put a pool in your backyard.
I was just thinking a swimming pool.
Yeah. That would have been definitely handy the last week or two.
Yes.
But this is for folks that really don't yet have a whole lot of equity in their home, so they can't normally get like a home equity loan to do that type of work. We're now working in partnership with Renify to, in essence, give our members that opportunity to build and make these things possible in their homes using what will be the, in essence, after improvement value of the home. So we're kind of factoring on the improvement of that investment in what the value will be of the home afterwards. And that's the basis in which we're lending to our members. So they're not having to dig into their own pockets to do these things, but we can help them in making their homes really a dream home, if you will, that they've been wishing to do. So Renify has been a really great program. We're also working with a local solar installer to help with home equity loans that are helping with regards to putting solar panels, solar power on their homes. That's very, obviously very eco-friendly, very green-friendly. So we're doing a lot there. So check out all the different mortgage programs. We are really going full blast in our mortgage area, and our members are responding. They're coming to us. Our rates are great. And our services are better and better and better and better, and they're going to get even better. We're putting people and resources into our mortgage process that's going to make it really first class. And there's a lot of processes in the background too that we're going to be working on in the next 6 to 9 months. So very, very good stuff coming.
I think that's great, because we're still in a place where people are spending more time at home than ever, and making sure you have that dream home. I wanted to mention with Renify, another great part of that is it helps you find trusted contractors too. So when you are getting that dream pool, you don't have to, think about if you're working with someone who's legit and can do the work well. Renify will help you find a great contractor as well. So it's definitely something to look into, and you can again, visit us online at fedchoice.org, and we've got all that information about those Renify renovation loans there too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to end with a plea, and that is to please let me know what we're doing well, and quite frankly, where we can improve, because we know we're not perfect. We've got areas we definitely can be better at, but we are most importantly interested in what you need, what you're going for, and yes, where your frustrations have been, so we can eliminate them and find better ways to provide what really we want to have is the best services possible for our community. We are part of the federal community. We want to be a bigger part of that community, and that means offering you, all of our members, pristine services and great products. So tell us what you're looking for so we can help you fulfill your dreams. That's really what we're about. We're a community. We're a local community. And unlike the big banks, the Bank of Americas and the Wells Fargos and those big behemoths that don't really care much about their customers, you're a member, you're an owner. And as such, you have a voice, and we need to hear it. So such things as live and other ways to reach out to us, I am all ears, and we all are. So please help us help you by letting us know what we can do.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, David, for coming by and answering the questions of our members. And like David said, definitely reach out to us with any thoughts that you may have. Let us know, and we will get to you as soon as possible. All right, everybody. Have a happy Thursday. Have a great, it's a long weekend this weekend. So
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend. And we will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Take care.